All right, and we're standing by. Yes. Yep, I'm aware. Time is it? 12:05. Hola, one and all. Here I am. What is going on? There we go. Should be. The technology of to explore. I think we're, oh my goodness. Now one gets into I'm in the Never Never Land. We're trying to figure out, is it working? Is it not working? I can't exactly tell. I think I can tell. Does not seem. And then we are like that. I don't want to waste too much time with this, but I think we should be good to go. I think we are fine. We seem to be fine. And now we are playing, I believe, doing the hand motions because then I can apologize to the radio people. There we are. Now it seems fine. See, this is one of the problems as we try to expand, and we are trying to include the people with YouTube Live. And so when you do that, and then sometimes we're getting a little bit of these frozen glitches. So I apologize. I'm just gonna power on here, well, folks. We're just gonna power on because that's what we do. And normally these things tend to straighten out a little bit. Although I'm a little thrown that it is in fact continuing to buffer like that, but it should be okay. Happy New Year, one and all. Although I'm not, that's not very encouraging. All right, at 12:08, I'm not going to do this for the full time. I am not. I'm going to check one more thing, folks. We have a lot to report on. It's the narrative McKee speech that he gave, which I didn't find to be very impressive. But I think we our government it seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. There we are. A little bit. I think we should power on. I think we're going to be okay, folks. Share that you are watching. All right, I'm convinced. For better or worse, folks, we are powering on here on the Juan DePietro show at 12:09. It's Wednesday, and yes, thank you, Jr. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Propane Plus. Remember, Plus. Propane Plus. What time is it? Well, Propane Plus today, folks, for all your propane needs. Now, whether it's heating or cooling, you can depend on Propane Plus. Fantastic. Call them at 401 885 408 and also in Massachusetts, 508-252-3359. It's Propane Plus. 3 generations available 24/7, online billing, schedule service and delivery. And remember, they have a very user-friendly website. It's propaneplus.com. Residential or commercial, you just put in your zip code and boom, there they are. Propane Plus. Happy New Year to all their customers. Again, if you use propane, if you're a propane user, home or business, call Propane Plus today, 401-885-4209. Well, folks, good afternoon. Right now, 12:10. It is Juan, and I encourage you to visit our website, depetro.com. Now, there's many different stories there, such as the latest of the head-on collision that happened in Warwick the other day. We all have only ones that have new at the website. Nutcase Jordan Goyette. We were just talking about him last hour with Justin Katz. You can read all about it at, in fact, the website, depetro.com. And don't forget, depetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks in the lounge. They're waiting for you at the Coesit Inn. Now, folks, right now at 11 minutes past 12, a couple of stories that we want to keep our eye on. First of all, how about the fact yesterday, finally, people keep asking me, what's the latest with the body found of the woman's body in the pond in Coventry? Finally, I'll have to check the temperature in health. The state police issued a statement. Yes. Actually, I'm not sure if they issued a statement or just responded to Channel 10. Because I didn't get anything. So it looks like that did happen. Also, people were asking me what happened with the situation. I guess in Coventry, they had again, these kids that are bringing different types of weapons to school, they go to lockdown, but that seems to be straightened out. Now, this is interesting. Channel 10 has a story. Suspect goes on trial in man's killing in Warwick City Park. Trial began for the man. There's no jury. He will decide the case. Now, we are going to have coverage of that. So, but we are going back and forth as far as courtroom access. But this was the trial Jack Fay. So we're going to be working on that later this afternoon. But I did want to alert people that Michael Soares, in fact, those of you, and we'll have updates on that, accused of beating and stabbing 66-year-old Jack Fay, who was 2013, sort of arrested until 2019. So, but it was, they were able to link him to a crime by running DNA evidence. And then once they did, I mean, it was just horrific. So we're trying to get more info, folks. I'll tell you, it's not easy because of trying to get access inside of the courtroom. It's not as easy as people would think. Now, at the same time, we're keeping one eye on what's going on in Washington with Kevin McCarthy, and I and I've heard from a number of different people, a number of you that have said you're glad, and if he forget him, and he's not conservative enough. And blah, blah, blah. Well, another vote today. All right, so that's big. That was just 5 minutes ago that took place. I'm also seeing Dave Wasserman, the biggest hurdle. Okay, so now the biggest hurdle for this motion passing, adjourned for what? If McCarthy can't get to 218 in 2 months, what's gained by punting another day? Dems and hardline R's have McCarthy on the rack. What I don't know. I don't understand the exit ramp here. Let's see. This is another. She's very credible. I've heard from 5 House Republicans likely to oppose a motion to adjourn if the GOP leadership's to do so at noon. Said generally wanting Republicans ask for a motion to adjourn. This would vote for the GOP if McCarthy still doesn't have the votes. So we're going to continue to track that. I want to repeat what I have been saying, which is I just don't understand what the game plan is, other than I think a lot of the different individuals like Matt Gaetz and some of these others. Laura Ingraham was pretty tough with Chip Roy last night. So, but what like, where is this leading? What's the plan other than let's just hold everything up? Here's what I'm seeing right now. Quorum call showed 351 present, a quorum. Now we roll into another speaker vote. Jordan is huddling with Chip Roy and Scott Perry. All right, so he seems to have a lot right now as far as Jake Sherman. If it sticks at 351 and everyone votes for someone by name, the winner would need 126. But then he puts, I would expect more will show up, though. House Republican leadership moving towards having a vote. Sources involved with the talk say there hasn't been much progress. McCarthy has spoken to Luna, Jim Jordan, Roy, and Norman. Elise Stefanik gave a point of order that a quorum is not present. All right. So I'm not going to be bogged down the way we were yesterday, because simply at the same time, as much as it's an unknown, and I kind of like that we're following where this is going. At the same time, I don't understand, as I've said, and I don't want to be redundant, but I was getting messages from one of our listeners and so forth who's thrilled by all of this. Blow up the establishment, right? Drain the swamp, blah, blah, blah. McCarthy's a rhino. Everybody's a rhino. I'm just not sure how that helps, or I'll give like a hand last night. So, yeah, order's not going to change. There's no investigations into Hunter Biden or President or anything like that, because certain individuals are just really enjoying having this moment that they are blocking everything that is happening right now. So let me just see. Oh, okay. I see what that is. All right. I want to go to I want people to understand, and I was saying communicating with someone saying, it's not every day that Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham are all on the same page. But this person, that doesn't mean anything, because I've totally moved over to Newsmax and moved over to One America. All right. I mean, if that is the case, then then that's the angle. Then that's you're not. That's going to a really, really separate lane. Really, really separate lane. And I see that people are then upset at Laura Ingraham for the way she was questioning Chip Roy last night. Do we have some sound of this? I think so. I'm not sure. No, it's not that good. Hold on. I want to find better sound of that, because she was questioning the a number of like it, because it just keeps, no matter what, that it doesn't matter that, going, even Obviously, it's not the way. So this, this, how that is successful and how that helps anyone by they've decided that they're just going to humiliate Kevin McCarthy. And I, again, if that's the goal, then that's one thing. But no one seems to have a backup plan. I want to hear me. This audio is not that great, but I just want to hear. This is Chip Roy, Republican of Texas, House Judiciary, on with Laura Ingraham. And again, I recognize the sound is not great, but just
final question here is: do you have an alternative? Let's say a vote after vote after vote happens, and Hakeem Jeffries is still beating in the overall count Kevin McCarthy. Would Steve Scalise then be acceptable to you? From what I gather on most issues that I've been following, they're pretty much the same on the issues, correct? I mean, personally, I have nothing against any of these folks. I like Steve Scalise as well. But would that be more acceptable to you, and if so, why?
So there's a number of names that I'm floating. We actually get to that as Kevin says he's going to keep running.
You don't want him at all, then. I mean, you really don't want him, which is fine to say.
Look, I like Kevin. I like Steve. But what I want is I want the Rules Committee to reflect ideologically our ability to stop an omnibus spending bill like was just passed in December. McConnell and stop.
Well, you need more populists elected, right? I mean, the point is, there's still not a critical mass of pop.
Again, I get it. I get it. They want to go down, and they're in Washington, and they want to just follow their agenda. But before I come back a little more closer to home, folks, I just want to, there's only so much. When you have 200 people that are on one side, and then you have less than 20 on the other side, I think it's a very fair question. Why are the 20 dictating to the 200? I'm just posing that. Now, we're going to see again what's happening. The media, especially conservative media, New York Post and others, are really seemingly, we are Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, a lot of these individuals they're certainly getting a lot of attention, but I'm going to come back to just like, where does this lead other than like, isn't this great? We're holding everything up by doing this. Now, Raquel Martin, excuse me. Okay, she tweeted out, I just spoke to several House Dems. Their cheerful mood has transitioned to that as concern as GOP members unable to pick a speaker day two. Laura tells me she goes to an intelligence briefing on Iran today, but can't because they're not sworn in. But I think it is similar to the president. They're concerned the current disarray will be another stain on the country's reputation abroad. I'm less concerned about that, other than where is just all this going? Robert Costa, I just spoke with Speaker Pelosi. She told me the Democrats sticking together and the chaos is a problem of their own making. Added she's never seen anything like this in her entire tenure. Then joked she'd allow a rules change for Jeffries to be Speaker. So you have that. All right. Now, folks, good afternoon. I have, and there's no perfect candidate to think or want. I went through the whole thing. It's you have to order on what's on the menu. What's on the menu? And what they want is not available. I go back to me, it's like that Rick Pitino speech of, Robert Parrish is not walking through that door, fans, right? Larry Bird, they're not walking through that door. It's this is the team that we have right now. And this President Trump is not going to be the speaker. President Trump is not going to be the speaker. Here's who's the element of the door. President Trump. So whatever the end game is, or to just hold everything up, it's just all it's doing is weakening the Republican Party, and it's very obvious. A lot of individuals just they care that Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans are being weakened. So let me go to the
door fans. Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old. What we are is young, exciting, hardworking.
That's just such a good line of who's walking through the door and who's not walking through the door.
How he would keep his players positive.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through the door.
All right.
Expected to.
That is 12:06. I don't know what to make of where this is all going to lead, other than some of the individuals. They seem to be enjoying it, and I know they do have fans out there. There are people, right, that they're not alone. They like the element of just. It's not about trying to actually govern. It's all about disruption. It's all about just cause chaos and havoc. And there's a lot that could be done. They could certainly start to play a larger role into the border. They could certainly play a larger role into what's been happening with Hunter Biden. But none of that is going to happen as long as they just seem content to cause havoc with various Republicans that want to be speaker. And they do have enough to continue to play the game and block it. Folks, right now at 12:27, this portion of the John DePetro show. Listen, it's a new year. And why not make sure your finances are in order? Call free consultation, Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. Free consultation, 401-434-1510. 401-434-1510. Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial. Why not make sure your finances are in order? And there's all different circumstances of why someone would want to sit down with an experienced professional financial advisor like Tom Bryan. Maybe it's about retirement, or maybe it's some kind of a major purchase planning or education planning. Many times people, they're retired and then they're wondering, maybe I feel good. I'd like to earn a little extra money. How would it affect me if I go back to work? Whatever it may be, or getting your finances in order, take advantage. It's a new year, free consultation. Call right now, Tom Bryan, Ameriprise Financial, 401-434-1510. Offices located 400 Massasoit Avenue in East Providence. Ameriprise Financial. Our guy, Tom Bryan, sit down and let him work with you and set up your plans, your goals, whatever they may be, but help you develop a financial plan. Call right now, free consultation, 401-434-1510. Well, folks, again, good afternoon. At 12:28, you're listening to the John DePetro show. It's AM 38 now. As far as the Rhode Island State House. Now, I'm going to pull back and forth. I'm looking right now. Kevin McCarthy scrounges for votes as GOP fight over Speaker enters its second day. Well, here we go again. Could be beginning shortly. But McCarthy draws mockery online for moving into Speaker's office, even though he's not the Speaker. Is that what they're looking for? Is that what we're looking for right now? I don't understand. But anyhow, getting into things a little bit closer to home, I noticed that, and forget about Seth Magaziner, that Rhode Island Housing Secretary, he is going to be the first casualty of 2023. Governor McKee, if any, I'm not going to get into the whole business, the General Assembly, and what they're not working to me on anything of substance. Right? There's nothing that makes me more business friendly. Governor McKee, Ryland, this is our time. This is our moment. It's our turn. Does anyone have any idea what he's talking about? It was a very uninspiring speech. I think Governor McKee, it signals to me that he feels he's got 4 years. He's going to lay low. He'll give speeches when he has to. He's going to continue to operate. Yesterday had, his mom there, which is nice. Happy for him. Thank this 34-year-old mom starting the campaign commercials. It's all very, very nice. And then they had the moment of silence for former Governor Lincoln Almond, who's passed away. Folks, yesterday, I actually heard from someone, I won't mention any names, who said they were disappointed I didn't do a tribute to Lincoln Almond. Like, what are you talking about? The guy I covered the final of that. You want to talk about no profile, nothing, zero. Former Governor Lincoln Almond, rest in peace. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to besmirch him, but he let John Harwood, he let them do whatever they wanted to do. Essentially, Governor Almond used to like to go to lunch at Angelo's or go to lunch at Greg's, and he has a house in the Cape, and go to the Cape and lay around and smoke cigarettes. That's about where it was at. Certainly didn't too much really build up the Republican Party. And the spending at the State House just continued to go like out of control. Again, I know Jim Hill, he was just so below the radar, and it was certainly a nice transition between himself and Governor Kachiri. But Governor Kachiri was like so much more visible. And Governor Kachiri, I was the one that asked Governor Kachiri. I was the one that started that. I was on HJJ, and then, down the dial picked it up. But Governor Almond never would have done something like that. Never. Absolutely not. Had no interest in it. So, but as far as like a tribute to him, other than he was a U.S. attorney and then he was governor and he hated Cianci, and I don't know. I don't besmirch him, but there wasn't like the most inspiring that you'd say I should have done a tribute to him. That never occurred to me. That never popped in my mind. At no time did I think, gee, I should get on there and do a tribute to him. It did not. Hey, listen, I'm happy for him. He lived to be 86 years old, and he also battled prostate cancer. Folks, this portion of our program on this Wednesday is brought to you by Matthews Oil Company, 24-hour emergency service. Call Matthews Oil Company today, 401-942-7500. Do you need heating oil? Call Matthews Heating Oil. Matthews Oil Company, 401-942-7500. Budget plans are available, and also 24-hour emergency service. Call them today. Premier dealer, Rhode Island, highest quality heating fuels. Matthews Oil Company, 401-942-7500. So we will monitor what's happening with the Rhode Island State House. Now, I also saw, Dan McGowan, who you're going to hear my conversation with him coming up before 2 o'clock. But let's see. This is Biggs votes for Donalds. Let's see if all yesterday's 20 Jordan votes shift to Donalds. So now they're voting for Bishop, and Boebert go for Donalds too. I mean, there's just no... Byron Donalds is now the new name that they're throwing around. He is Republican. He's from Florida. So now he's been nominated. I mean, this. Roy just approached him. They shook hands. Byron Donalds now watching the whole scene from the back, arms crossed. Other members come up and speak to him. So do we actually have now a speaker fight? Chip Roy nominated Byron Donalds for speaker. Claps and applause from the anti-McCarthy bloc. This sounds like day 2 of more embarrassment. But I want to just, Dan McGowan tweeted out pretty quick, and that is, It has to do with our friend Judge Caprio. Sounds like Judge Caprio's situation is becoming Council President Miller's first major issue. Caprio may not have the votes on the council to be chief judge. They're going to make John Lombardi the chief judge. They would have a judge almost like in a semi-retired state. And Dan McGowan says not on the agenda for tomorrow's meeting. So you just wonder, again, the new head of the Providence City Council, the proclaimed socialist, that she may want to once again, suddenly now, they don't like anything of tradition, and once again to do anything to try to upset the status quo. I'm looking at this. Michael Ferrone just stopped by outside the entrance to the speaker's office, pointing to the spot where the speaker's name would normally be on a wooden plaque. I just came here to rub it in. He was one of the J6 people, Capitol Police on January 6th. That was very, very, testified and did a lot of different interviews and so forth. All right, I want to hear, because it sure sounds as though thinking towards this Byron Donald. So the 20 that refused to vote for Kevin McCarthy, they seem to be on a different plan today. And again, okay. Here we go with the vote again. Donalds has 5. McCarthy has 33. And are we really going to carry? I don't know.
Cohen. Jeffries.
All right, I'm going to monitor, folks. I can't listen to the whole nonsense again. As I've said, I don't understand the game plan here, other than the Democrats are certainly enjoying this, that Representative Jeffries, and I'm seeing Rep. McCarthy, does not have the votes. 5th speaker vote expected. How this, and there are people that get I lost as to now with throwing votes on his votes. So we'll monitor it. I will monitor it, but how does this help the cause? So these individuals, they really don't want. Now, I just wonder also, Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and Chip Roy, are they really now afraid that if Kevin McCarthy becomes speaker, that they are totally back of the bus and they are nowhere in Siberia as far as being on any committees of any significance, if that comes into play? So we'll see where this sounds like more semantics. Now, they also seem very content to let this drag on for extended period of time. And I am seeing some people, right now it's 12:38, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. People saying this is the way it should be. It should be, this is, I'm not sure what to make of that, other than the Democrats, and they seem to be enjoying watching the Republicans squirm in this way. And Kevin McCarthy at this point is very close to just like chasing his tail. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show, now remember, it's brought to you by AtMed Urgent Care. If you have an emergency, go to AtMed Urgent Care, 2 locations, 1524 Atwood Avenue in Johnston, and also 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich. AtMed Urgent Care. When it's an emergency, they have doctors, they have nurses, walk-in routine urgent care, minor surgical, orthopedic and trauma, work-related injuries. If you're in a car accident, a lot of the emergency rooms now, they won't see you. They say, no, we're too busy. They have too many people with COVID. They have too many people with the flu. Well, you can go to AtMed Urgent Care. 7 days a week, doctors and nurses, 2 locations, 1524 Atwood Avenue in Johnston. I've been to that one, right in the Atwood Medical Center. And also 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich, right across from Felicia's. It's AtMed Urgent Care when it's an emergency. Folks, this portion of the John DePietro Show, now listen, it's a new year. And if you want to get in shape and possibly learn how to defend yourself, remember Burke's Martial Arts, self-defense, fitness, martial arts, and also kickboxing. Burke's Martial Arts. Now, we have a link right on the website, depetro.com. Jake Burke is like Special Forces. Burke's Martial Arts, located right 880 Eddy Street in Providence, right way down the street from the hospital. So whether it's self-defense, fitness, martial arts, kickboxing, Burke's Martial Arts, there's a link on the website, depetro.com. Folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show at 1240 on AM. Tuning, just a Facebook Live program tomorrow night, Thursday night, episode 9 of Cranston PD Live comes your way. I think we're going to start a little earlier, but tomorrow night, Thursday night, January 5th, episode 9, Cranston PD Live. We're going to be out again. If you want to catch up, all of the episodes are linked at the website, depetro.com, and it's linked through YouTube. And then, of course, we also have them on, obviously, on Facebook Live. All right, where is it right now? They're once again going for a count. I'm looking at now Representative Byron Donalds has 8 votes. Kevin McCarthy has 55 votes. And Representative Jeffries has 61 votes. So one saying enough votes to become Speaker.
Fitzgerald.
This is playing out live right now.
McCarthy. Fitzpatrick. McCarthy. Fleischman. McCarthy.
You have to wait until they get to
Fletcher.
some of the reps
Jeffries.
that are part of the 20s.
Flood.
We're going to hear a couple of G's coming up. Gates,
Foster.
Good, and
Jeffries.
Joseph.
Fushi.
See how they're going to. I just want to hear how they're going to vote.
Fox.
This is
McCarthy.
the G. Yeah, we're almost at the G.
Lois Frankel. Jeffries.
Terrible.
C. Scott Franklin. Frost.
So
Jeffries. Fry.
it seems that
McCarthy. Fulcher.
they're not voting for Jim.
McCarthy.
Now they're voting for Byron
Gates.
Donald.
Donald.
All right, so they're going for Donald now. Solid, conservative, and family
McCarthy.
man.
Gallego. Jeffries. Garamendi. Jeffries. Garbarino. McCarthy. Mike Garcia. McCarthy. Robert Garcia. Jeffries. Garcia. Jeffries. Garcia of Texas. Jeffries. Pennant. McCarthy. Golden of Maine. Jeffries. Goldman of New York. Jeffries. Gomez. Jeffries. Tony Gonzalez. McCarthy. Vicente Gonzalez. Jeffries. Good of Virginia. Donalds.
He's the new. That's the new directional. The whatever you want to call them.
Gooden of Texas. McCarthy.
The rebels. The
Gosar. Donalds.
So Donald's is the new one. Okay. Well, the next one that'll come up will be, and right now Jeffries has more votes than Kevin McCarthy. So McCarthy is going to fail again. What time is it? Right now, it's 12:45. Folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. So then the next vote that's going to go for Donald's is Ralph Norman, Scott Perry, Matt Rosendale, Lauren Bobart, Mike Cloud, unless Bobart already voted, actually. Yeah, they must have already voted. Anna Luna, Miri Miller, Ugal, Self, Harris, and then Chip Roy himself. So again, Donald's is now up to 11 votes, and so the vote is going to fail again. So it sounds like another day. We'll keep an eye on it. Michael Cloud of Texas votes for Byron Donalds, which means 5 GOP dissents and unless something changes. So we're going to monitor it on happening in real time. Situation where it would seem again that Kevin McCarthy is going to lose 4th speaker vote, as 5 more than that votes now for Donald, and he could only lose 4. Folks, you also can really see how important it was for, it seemed like Speaker in waiting, Kevin McCarthy, to get Cranston Mayor Alan Fung elected. I mean, that's pretty amazing what's happening with that, of just how much they wanted. So I want to just pull that up. And again, I'm not sure where this is going to go between now and the end of the day. Now, one thing that is different is all the family members are not there today. And then we'll see. Right now, they're at 11 votes against him. It can only be 4. And so I want to see if at the end of this vote call, if then it's still 20. Right now, good afternoon. It's 12:47. You're listening to the John DePietro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. This portion of our program is brought to you by Limitless Outdoors. Now, on this Wednesday, when it's mild out, a little bit of rain, but I want to tell you about my friends at Limitless Outdoors. They're based in Smithfield. You can call for a free quote, 401-580-1852. 401-580-1852. So what do they do, Limitless Outdoors? They specialize in patios, walkways. Now, with my home, we had some brand new steps, not then step into the home, but just your steps that go through the grass. They're fantastic with that. Plus, they can do the step at the walkway. Outdoor kitchens. Have you thought about, boy, I'd like to have a fire pit or an outdoor oven or an outdoor fireplace, landscape lighting, retaining walls, lawn installation, excavation. Now, they also do update your indoor fireplace or kitchen. Remember, their slogan is dream, build, enjoy. Call for a free quote. Call Chris, Limitless Outdoors, because it is limitless. There's no limit to how they can improve your outside. And remember, I was speaking with someone that said they would think of adding another room onto their home, but then they realized, that's really not what we're looking for. We want to be able to enjoy our outdoor space more. So they added an outdoor kitchen. They added an outdoor fireplace. They added an outdoor fire pit and some nice walkway and improved their patio around it. Folks, Limitless Outdoors. It is truly limitless what they can do. Call today, free quote, 401-580-1852. If you can't remember the number, you can always contact me and I'll get it for you. Limitless Outdoors, 401-580-1852, based in Smithfield and online, limitlessoutdoorsri.com. Well, folks, right now at 12:49, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. What's on the agenda for the balance? I'm not even going to go through the embarrassment of what I've seen, of what they're saying is on the agenda, which is more legislation about abortion. Is there anyone that believes that should be a priority other than you're just listening to the progressive aggressive base that they always want to make that part highlight that that's somehow a big priority. I also noticed as I mentioned, Governor McKee, Rhode Island, this is our time. I don't know what he's talking about. But Providence Journal, Sakachi Ruggiero reelected to lead the House and the Senate. No surprise here, but here's what surprised me. After trouncing Catherine Gregg and Patrick Anderson, after trouncing Representative Mike Chippendale for leader of the House wasn't expecting or it could, oh my God, if it was like 20 to 25, then that's when you would truly have force an effective Republican Party. In the meantime, unfortunately, folks, and not to the betterment of the state, it just remained completely lopsided in that manner, and so therefore, it's so limited of what they can do. I give them credit. I want to be supportive, but if people wonder like what could truly would improve the state, it would be more balance at the Rhode Island State House. It seems as though just as the Republicans were gaining ground, that instead the ballot harvesting machine came along and it is completely blown that up. Now, I also mentioned that Governor McKee sworn in yesterday. Massachusetts, it's today as far as the swearing in. I am following that somewhat as Wednesday. So Governor Baker will hand over this to Governor Healy. So I think that's interesting. Governor-elect Maura Healy appoints economic development technology secretaries. You don't hear anything about that with when it comes to anything being done in the Ocean State. You don't, or anything with Governor McKee. You don't hear anything like that. Instead, you just keep hearing what a problematic situation he has with his housing secretary and everything that kind of goes along the lines of that. So, all right, let me just check in, folks. Right now, it's 12:53. Good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. Where are we right now? Ooh, Kevin McCarthy, 116.
Jeffries.
McCarthy, 117.
Jeffries.
Oh, way off.
Lofgren. Jeffries.
No. The goal is 2. So he's still way off. Jeffries 115. This Representative Donald's at 12. So that's a bit. One that can't be ignored when it comes to the Democrat Party, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit, which is one of the reasons I enjoy speaking with Justin Katz, we were at Rhode Island Politics and Politics this week, is they do kind of rally around, and they do in essence come together. You're not seeing that right now. So all of these Republicans that are saying the never Kevins are staying that way, I think it sounds as if that President Trump was even trying to get some of them to just not vote for him, but not vote. But this time they want to push maybe their person, Representative Donald, into more of a leadership position. And maybe that's what it's going to come down to, that they want to have more say over who the number 2 should be. Now, here are some recent headlines. Pelosi adamant about Dems not helping House GOP out of its speaker mess. This is a problem of their own making. This is called leadership. They should be able to work it out. Don't put this at the Democrat doorstep. It's really not, as a matter of fact. I also see that the Bengals head coach is going to have his first press conference today. So the situation with the the player from the Bills, who is still in critical condition, the Patriot, Bill Belichick, canceled the media availability. I want to also see Catherine Gregg says, can someone better informed than I am? Congress works. How can members of Congress not sworn in yet? Yesterday, the legislators got sworn in, then they elected the House Speaker. That's a good question. So Damar Hamlin's doctors are working to get him breathe with a ventilator now after the mid-game cardiac arrest. Let's see. If there's anything, yeah. So they are all voting for this Byron Donalds. So, and he describes himself as liberty-loving, pro-Trump, pro-Second Amendment, pro-life, husband, father to 3, congressman from Florida. So, Rep-elect Byron Donalds, he seems to be the person. So I haven't heard a part of the leadership team, like they want their own person in there. So, but the Kevin McCarthy situation, this sounds like they just this thing it's certainly not going to be resolved in this vote. He's losing on another vote, and now they're not sure how they get out of this. So maybe I'm not saying, what I'm saying is it's not going to be decided right now. Let me just see where they are as we speak. Kevin McCarthy has 140 votes. Donald has 14 votes. Jeffries is at 127.
Jeffries.
So the Democrats all sticking together, but so are. Well, let's see when this is done if they're at 20 or they lose a few.
Jeffries.
But there's still a long way to go here.
Moulton.
Yeah, they're still in the M's.
Jeffries. Merkin.
Right.
Jeffries.
We're going to track it, folks. But right now, Kevin McCarthy does not have enough votes to be elected speaker. So right now it's 12:58. We're going to follow this into next hour. Again, you're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Now, folks, it's 12:59. Those watching on Facebook, we will be doing Facebook Live later. Make sure, by the way, you subscribe to the page in Cranston PD Live, episode 9, tomorrow night, 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish, right in there. So let's do this. We are going to we're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. We have another full hour to go on the radio. It's 8:13, 99.9 FM, or you can always listen online at the website, depetro.com. It's Wednesday. It's January 4th, 2020. For 1 o'clock news, we have another full hour to go on the other side. Leave it right here on the John DePietro Show.